Alright guys, first I'm going to show you what we made. The original set screw I made looks like so. I made just a tip in that would catch inside the firing pin notch to keep it from going, and I just lopped the head off, filed it smooth, and cut a screwdriver slot in it. The only problem is when we put these in like the original, and it'll look like this. You can see this or not. And you would just tighten this down basically until it retained the firing pin, got tight, then you'd back off a little bit. If not, your firing pin would be trapped. So, but one thing I noticed in doing this design is you still got this big open gap for all the crap and crud and everything to get down in, which is what originally caused this thing to rust out anyways. And if you look and see when the firing pin moves, you can see how that screw kind of jumps around a little bit, and eventually this is going to just work itself loose, and your firing pin is going to be able to, it's going to work itself loose, and your firing pin will be able to eventually fall back out. See how that moves right in here? See, just by moving the firing pin back and forth, see how that screw just wobbles around a little bit. Wasn't really happy with that. So basically what I did, I'll show you on the other receiver, because I did have to do this to two of these receivers. And this is the 94C. Basically I just took and you can see how this is all gouged up from where and I'll clean all that up, but I drilled this out and ended up breaking a drill bit off in the receiver, and then had to drill the bit and the original screw out, which we got out. But if you look and see this one, it'll fill in the hole a lot more and you won't get as much stuff down in there. And I'm going to make one like this screw for the other receiver. If you look, this, it moves back and forth. This doesn't allow the head to flop around. And basically all I did, and I'll remove the screw and show you, basically all I did was I turned down the head of this screw. Instead of cutting it off, leaving it the shank diameter, the shaft diameter, I just turned this down to the same size as the hole in here. And remember, when we tapped it out, we used a 648 tap just so I could use a standard 648 screw. But let me switch to the other receiver and I'll show you how this looks. Now with our screw that we put in, all we did was turn it down 50 thousandths. We'll make sure it fits in this receiver, because this is a different receiver. You'll see that one is the hole is a little bit smaller, so we're probably going to go start. We'll start turning one of these screws down a little bit smaller to get the hole size for that. But this one will work for our 94 receiver. And I know that's a lot of kind of foreshadowing jargon, but I'll show you how to make this on I used my drill press to make this, and the proper way to do this would be to use a lathe, but a lot of people don't have, you know, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 lathes, which is what you would need to make this. So we're going to measure this hole. Zoom you out a little bit. We're going to measure this hole with our calipers, and we're going to take one of these 648 screws, because you see you've got all this material around here that will kind of fill in the hole so everything doesn't get compacted with dirt and debris, and that should keep a lot of the issues with this. I don't see me going out and rolling around in the mud with these, but if I wanted to, this would help keep all that crud and grime out. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to chuck this up in the drill and turn off that excess material till we get it to where we're fit in here without just bringing it down to shaft diameter. The head of this screw, we're looking at about 200 thousandths. So we're going to put this in the drill and turn it down. I'll show you how to do that. As you can see, I want to move back and forth on the firing pin, how that screw moves around in there. And basically what happened is when we cut it off and filed the end flat, it's going to be better for us to leave the head on it and giving us more material to work with and just dress all that down. So let's go to the press.